He's getting older.
Huh? Oh, hit the full button!
But not wiser.
Hey, welcome to Con Air!
This is The Lefty Show.
Welcome, everybody, to The Lefty Show. I am your host, Lefty. Glad to be here with all of you today. Happy Monday to you and yours. Today, Monday, the 27th of October in the year of our Spaghetti Monster 2014. Welcome all to The Lefty Show, episode number 106. 106 episodes strong. Thank you to everybody for joining. Thank you to everybody for watching, liking, favoriting, subscribing on YouTube. YouTube.com/LeftyOX is where you can go to find the show in its YouTube formation. Thank you to everybody that's been following me on Twitter at Lefty643 is where you can go to do that. Thank you to everybody that has been donating to the show. I'mRaising.com/643 Productions is where you can go. You want to help out? You know you do. I'mRaising.com/643 Productions. And thank you, a very heartfelt thank you to everybody that has been sharing the show, helping it grow by sharing it with friends, family, and or coworkers. Easy to do now. We have an RSS feed, leftyshow.podbean.com, or search The Lefty Show wherever you get your podcasts for your PC, tablet, or mobile device, Android, iOS, it does not matter. Search The Lefty Show. You'll find us. Be sure to subscribe. Download all the episodes at your leisure. So, I got some things that I'm upset about. I don't want to be a like I really don't. I don't want to be that guy. But there are certain things that happen in life. Just normally going about your business as a human in today's society. And I'm sure it was the case 50 years ago, 100 years ago, and I'm sure it will still be the case 50 years from now and 100 years from now, and on and on and on. Just little things that if you're paying attention, you kind of start to notice. And if you're paying attention enough, they really kind of piss you off. They really do. And it's not like you're angry at the world. It's not like you want to return, I don't know, whatever, food that you bought, something that you got, service that you received. It's just those things. It's an internal pissed off where you're just like, oh, Roger, son of a bitch. Because you think, why do I have to deal with this? Or why is this way? Because it makes no sense. But nobody else questions it. At least you look around and nobody else questions it. And maybe you're one of those people that you do question it, and other people look at you and go, what the hell's wrong with you? And you try to scream to the world, no, look at how stupid this is. It's really, really dumb. They say, oh, well, we just go about it and we accept it. You say, well, but why? Well, because that's just the way it is, and that's the way it always will be. And this story centers on klatschkis, pastries. Oh, delicious. Showing my true Polish heritage. Klatschkis, so good. Oh, my God, just a wonderful, delicious pastry. A dry pastry with a filling, usually raspberry, cherry, or some kind of cheese or cream. And you can go to like an actual delicatessen and get yourself some really nice klatschkis, or you can go to the supermarket and they'll have some once in a while, like a tray under those, pre-formatted plastic things. You get yourself some. And, unless you're an aficionado of pastries, you're not really going to know the difference. So Katie surprised me because I was telling her, I said, oh my God, I haven't had a klatschki in forever, and I really, really want a good one. She said, what's that? I said, oh my God, you don't know what they are? And I explained the whole thing to her. And she said, oh, okay. Well, she went to the store one day, came back to our place, and she had a tray of Klotchkis, bought from the supermarket, but I didn't care. Oh my God! And I was excited. I was ecstatic because I realized that for the entire, however long I was going to make this plate of delicious, scrumptious pastries last, ended up lasting about a week and a half. Which may be bad or good. There were only 30 of them. Don't yell at me, all right? They're so good. You try to have one, okay? Similarly, and if Klotchkis aren't your thing, that's fine. I can illustrate this to you in a different way. Try to have one Fig Newton. Just one. If you're a fan of Fig Newtons, original, my guys. Or if you're a crazy person and you like their like strawberry stuff, which fine, whatever, try to have just one. Or Thin Mint cookies from the Girl Scouts. I don't know if they've made it all the way across the pond yet. And if they haven't, oh boy, each and every one of you are missing out on the amazingness that is Girl Scout cookies, especially Thin Mints. And don't you dare talk to me about tag-alongs. No. Girl Scout cookies begin and end with Thin Mints. Everything else is second. Everything else is a distant second at best. You talk about Girl Scout cookies. If you are, it's like in sports, hot sports takes, they talk about who would you start a franchise with tomorrow as some kind of evidence of the best player in any given league. You could do this with soccer anywhere. You know, who would you, if everybody was available, what is it, the Premier League? Is that it? I think I got that right. First soccer reference on this show. If the Premier League was wide open, who would be the first guy that you take to start a franchise? You're starting a franchise anew. The NBA, who's the first guy you take? Better be Kevin Damn Durant. Can make a case for Anthony Davis. LeBron's not bad either. But that's it. And the NFL, Andrew Luck. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it begins and ends with Andrew Luck. Aaron Rodgers is getting up there. Peyton Manning and Tom Brady are up there, and you pretty much got to go to the quarterback position. So it's Andrew Luck. You start with Andrew Luck. Russell Wilson, So when you're introducing somebody to a cookie franchise, your answer, your one and only answer, like Andrew Luck in the NFL, is Thin Mints. You say, oh, you got to try these Girl Scout cookies. Have you ever had a Girl Scout cookie? No. What are they? Oh, they're cookies distributed solely by the Girl Scouts of America. Like, do the Girl Scouts make them? No, not at all. They just go around selling them, but they're really good, and they're the only place you can get them. Okay, I'll try them. The one brand the one kind you better give them is Thin Mints, damn it. Don't even come at me with tag-alongs or any of that other crap or the whatever stupid coconut ones. God, I hate those. I hate them. Bad biatches. So try to have just one Thin Mint or just one Fig Newton. So I'm ecstatic about being able to treat myself, after I do something good. He's cooked. I can have myself some Klotchkis. And as it turns out, I didn't realize this upon first opening the tray, but there's 30 of them, 10 of 3 different kinds. Raspberry, cheese, and apricot. That's right. Apricot. And as I munched and I noshed, because I'm nothing if not somebody who likes to nosh, I plowed through the raspberry and cheese Klotchkis very quickly. And then one day, I'm like, oh, you know what would be really good right now? A glass of milk and a Klotchki. Oh, yeah, gotta go get one. And what's left? Apricot. 10 of the sons of bitches. And I said, oh, well, I'll try it. Awful. Whoever would think to fill a pastry with apricot, I have no idea. But my problem was this. My problem wasn't that the apricot made an appearance in the sampler tray of these Polish pastries. Now, that wasn't the problem. My problem was it was represented equally with all the other way better flavors of the pastry. And I can tell you from experience, growing up Polish and having Polish relatives going to family functions, Everybody hates the apricot tchotchkes. Every single person does. And that was true when I was 5 years old, 10 years old. You know, somebody would die and you go to the service, and then you'd go to somewhere to eat and there'd be a spread and people would bring things. Coming together. You go to family functions for Christmas, whatever, Thanksgiving. Tchotchkes scoot. What were the last ones to be eaten at the end of the day when you were finally seeing the bottom of whatever the tray was? The apricot ones. Nobody likes them. But it was true when I was 10 years old, and it's now true when I'm 27 years old. The apricot ones, the worst flavor, gets the equal representation in the sampler tray. Why do we do this? Nobody eats them. Do you know anybody who is a fan of pastries who ever goes, you know what, I can't wait. The first one I'm going to have apricot. I'm going to take that one, that slightly bitter kind of, oh, God, I can't wait. It's going to be great. No. It's like saying, oh, boy, I can't wait to dive into these raisin cookies. These raisin chip cookies. I can't wait. Damn it, I got the raisin ones. They look like chocolate chips from far away. If there's a sampler cookie tray, the raisin ones are always left because nobody likes them. Why do you still put them in the tray? Why are they still equally represented with all the other cookies? Why are the apricot ones equally represented with all the other delicious pastries? Why? Nobody likes them. Nobody eats them. They eat them because they have to. Damn it. Guess I better eat this one. We don't learn. We're stupid. Why do I have to wait for coffee at a diner because all the waitresses or wait staff, because all the wait staff is fighting over the one regular brewed coffee urn. They have two, regular and decaf. But I want coffee, regular coffee, because I'm not a psychotic. And everybody around me at that restaurant wants regular coffee. So we all have to fight each other, or the waitresses wait staff, all have to fight each other for that one urn of regular coffee. Who's the jackass that's ordering decaf? Nobody. That's who. Why does decaf get equal representation? Why should well-meaning coffee drinkers? Because here's the thing. Don't even tell, I like the taste of coffee. Bull crap. No, it doesn't. No, you don't. You don't like the taste of coffee. Why? Because even if you get decaf, I like the taste of coffee, but I just don't want the caffeine. Bull crap. Because here's what you do. Here's how you diffuse that. Because I know there's somebody out there listening to this that maybe is like, well, I drink decaf because I like the taste of coffee, but yeah. Bull crap. I'll tell you why. What's the first thing you do? Now, if you drink decaf black, if you're just like, I'll just have black decaffeinated coffee, okay, well, you're like 1 in 1 million. What's the first thing people do when they get coffee? You put cream in it. And then what do? You put sugar in it. Very, very few people, unless they're trying to nurse a hangover, which it doesn't help. You know what helps? Sleep. Very, very few people are actually like, yeah, just give me the coffee and that's it. If it's regular roasted coffee, none of this like Keurig artsy fartsy flavored stuff. If it's regular original coffee, first thing you do that many, many people do, you put cream in it, or you put some milk in it, and then you put a little sugar or one of the other artificial sweeteners if you like it. You change the consistency of it. Otherwise, because it tastes like ass. Coffee tastes like ass. Why would anybody in their right mind drink that crap regularly? You do it because you wake up and it's, okay. It's a hot liquid that you put inside yourself in the morning, whether it's cold or you're tired, and you go, okay, all right, a little bit better. So why does decaf, which has the same ass taste, but none of the kick in the pants upside, why would anybody want to drink that? And why does it get equal representation? Because look, here's how you know. You go to a diner, go to any place that serves breakfast. The urn with the black rim on it is regular. The urn with the orange is decaf. Guarantee you, every time you look at the coffee station, the orange urn is there. And that level never changes, ever. Nobody wants it. But, well, we have 2 coffee heaters or 2 coffee brewers. We'll have 1 regular and 1 decaf. You know what would happen in a just world? In a just world, where not everything is equal, where the needs of the small amount, the very few amount of people who want the special kind. I want the crappy tasting pastry, or I want the non-alcoholic De Beers or O'Doul's, or I want the vegetarian burrito, or I want the decaffeinated coffee. When the needs of those people aren't automatically treated as equal as to all the other regular, quote, normal people, here's what would happen. Somebody comes to you with what would otherwise be a special order. Because imagine if you went to a coffee place in the 40s and you were like, yeah, I want coffee, but none of the caffeine in it. They say, what? You go, yeah, I want coffee, but that caffeine crap, get it out of there. I don't like it. Don't want it. Blech. Bad. They can look at you and go, well, all right, well, we'll have to go out and find some, I guess, and then brew it, so it's going to take a while and it's going to cost more. That's what should happen. What should happen, you go to a breakfast joint, and they've got 2 urns of regular coffee so that people don't have to wait an exorbitant amount of time for coffee. That one guy who's like, well, I don't put caffeine in my body, so yes, ma'am, may I have decaf coffee? The waitress would say, yes, sure you can. It's going to take 5 minutes for it to brew, and that cup is going to be $3, but yeah, sure you can. Just let me know how many cups you want so I can make some. If you're going to have 1, 2, 3, whatever. But it's going to take 5 minutes to brew because we have to brew it specially because nobody else wants decaf. Now, well, why do I have to wait? That's why. That's why that stupid orange-ringed urn is sitting there all the time and never changes level. Because somewhere at some point, one artsy-fartsy little jagbag got his panties in a twist because, well, why do I have to wait for my decaffeinated coffee? Because I don't. And then, whores to the dollar that businesses are in our system. Oh, well, let's just make it. Let's just have 1 decaf ready to go all the time. Yeah, screw everybody else that has to wait for the coffee urn to make its round to their waitress in their section, or wait staff. Screw them. Let's just have one going so that we don't have to listen to that small group of people bitch and complain. You want something special, you're going to have to either wait, pay extra. Well, you're going to have to wait, pay extra, or both. Either wouldn't work there. I don't believe. Is either binary? Either or, right? Yeah. So you would one or all 3. Or one or both. God damn it. Just stumbling all over this. Killing my flow. That's what should happen. You want a special order? Oh, you want the veggie burrito with the tofu instead of that? Okay, well, you're going to have to order that special. Because we're not putting that in the burrito sampler that you get, or we're not going to, here's the regular burrito mix, and here's the vegetarian burrito mix, all in the equal size trays. No, if you want veggie, let us know. Otherwise, you're getting the regular stuff. That's what should happen. But no, everybody, oh, well, it's all got to be equal. So I had to suffer through crappy apricot-filled pastries that nobody wants. Yet we still continue to do it. You can find that crap everywhere. I guarantee you can find that crap everywhere. Pimento loaf. Why put that in a delicatessen tray? Why? Who wants pimento? Who really wants it? Who's like, honey, do you see what they have in this? I can't believe nobody's touched this. Oh my God. It's pimento loaf. Yay. Nobody wants that. But it's represented equally in the delicatessen trays. You go out and buy a sampler, you get some pimento loaf. Nobody touches it. Or the cheese. You go out and you get cheese, and there's always some special kind of, you get American Swiss and mozzarella. That's what you get. Maybe some brie. Whoa, you get blue. I want the blue cheese. Oh, you mean you want moldy cheese? Well, you're going to have to get that special. Well, why can't I put it in the platter? Because nobody else wants it but you idiot. Oh, well, everything has to be equal. Everything. No, we don't all have to be equal. We don't all like the same things. We aren't all the same. There are people who don't like certain things. Yes, there are some people that do. There are some people that like things that way. They like the decaffeinated coffee. They like the non-alcoholic Zima, which I don't think was really non-alcoholic. It was just an incredibly low alcoholic beverage, if I remember correctly. Still want to get my hands on some and try it. I want to try Zima. Anybody, if you know where I can get my hands on some Zima, because I remember watching the commercials when I was a kid, and I didn't know what it was. I thought it was cool. Because the ads were like, oh, Zima, the newest, coolest thing. I'm like, oh my God, Zima must be the greatest thing. My parents always told me, no, you can't have that. And I didn't know why. I'm like, oh, but Zima, they're telling me it's so cool. The TV is telling me Zima is the greatest thing ever. Why can't I have some in my body? Well, turns out there's a good reason why. Or maybe not so good reason. Who knows? Maybe I could have experimented with alcohol, find out it sucks, and then just sworn it off for the rest of my life. Thanks, mom and dad, biatches. But we're not all equal. We're not all the same. Not everything needs to be represented equally. Yeah, there are some people that like decaffeinated, non-alcoholic, special this, special that. Okay, they don't have to be presented equally in the one-off things we create for everybody to buy. You want your special thing? Which you recognize as special, your pimento loaf, your decaf, your this or that, it's ordered and made special. Wait a little longer, and you might have to pay more for it too. That's the price that you pay for being special. That's why it's called special. Or different. Normal is easy. Different is hard and more expensive. Duh. Oh, no, I want my decaffeinated coffee. Speaking of things that just pissed me off, I go to buy a cigar, right? And I was by a liquor store. I was out and about, and I was by a liquor store. And usually liquor stores have some cigar selection. Much better than your tobacco shop. Or than your, like, cigars or cigarette store, excuse me. Like your cigarette outlet place, they got like a box of crappy cigars. A step up from that is liquor stores, usually. And then the step up from that is the full-on tobacco shop. And then up from that is a tobacconist, which is usually just cigars. So I go and I'm like, I want a cigar. I haven't had one in a couple weeks. Almost bordering on a month, I think. And so, last one probably before the weather turns too cold. And I'm not going to, I'm not going to go to a smoke shop to sit there and smoke cigars. I'm not that into it. So, okay, I'll have one off. One last one. So I go and walk in, ask the guy, hey, can you open the cigar cabinet? And he does, and I make a selection. And I pick one out. It's in a tube, and I hand it to him. Here you go. And for whatever reason, the price wasn't clearly marked. On usually they'll say, $4.90, $5.99, $6.99, seven and up, whatever, for these cigars. This one didn't. Usually posted on the box. So the guy starts trying to scan the barcode on the cigar tube. And wouldn't you have it, that's a small barcode pasted on a cylindrical tube is kind of hard for your little thing to read. So I'm sitting there for 5 minutes. 5 minutes! While this guy's screwing around trying to scan the barcode because he can't key in a price or just guess. And it's not like I'm pissed off at the guy. I can't be pissed off at the guy, all right? You just, low-level stuff like that, it makes you feel good It's like short-term feels. You know, short money, long money. They're short feels. You feel better when you yell at the underling. When you yell at the supermarket checker that can't just give you $5 off because the can was dented or whatever, right? It makes you feel good or better to yell at the underling, but they can't do anything. You go to a supermarket, you go to any kind of franchise chain, those people can't do anything. Hell, the managers can barely do anything. Even if you get to the managerial level, they got nothing. They have no authority to do anything. Their job is to strictly manage. That's it. They have no plenipotentiary power or discretionary funds to do anything. Because it's all efficient. And petty cash is inefficient. So I can't be mad at him. But I realized, holy crap, I'm at a liquor store. A liquor store. Vice. You're selling sin and vice. Yet you have to be so efficient that everything down to the last $7, it was actually $9. Should have gotten the cheaper ones. Everything down to the $9 cigar have to be in the system. And you can't tell your guy, you know what, look, if you're having trouble and it would seem like the customer would have to wait for 5 minutes for a cigar, just key in a price, whatever, we'll take the hit on it. Because maybe it's not a good idea to have people waiting 5 minutes for a stupid cigar. And that's our culture. That's our society. There's no discretion anymore. Or very, very little. Hard to find. You know, your service sucks and you complain to a manager, they're not going to knock anything off your bill. What are they going to give you? At best, a gift card. That's it. Maybe a drink, which they have to account for in the system. You know, you go to the supermarket, try going to the supermarket, finding bad produce, and then complaining to the manager, hey, you've got crappy produce here. What is this all about? Like half the stuff is starting to rot. What is that? What are they can't do anything. Oh, I'm sorry. They all start out the same. I'm sorry. No, you're not. You're told to say that in your little instructional videos, but you're not really sorry, and there's nothing you can do. Nothing anybody can do anymore. Because, and we're at fault too. Consumers are at fault. I don't know. I wouldn't go around. Let's say equal. 50-50. Consumers and sellers. The owner-operators and purveyors of businesses are running so efficiently that they cannot account for any loss. What is Walmart's profit margin? Like 3 or 4%, something like that, maybe even less. You're in a single-digit percentage on any given item sold in your store. That's your profit margin. Now, Walmart's so huge, that's how they make billions and billions of dollars in profit. But their margins are so paper thin because everything's got to be efficient, because everybody's got to be ultra, ultra competitive. And that results in nobody can help you out if you get screwed over. Nobody can just key in a price. Eyeball it, screw it, I'll plug it into the computer, and my manager will back me up that it was about right with the corporate bigwigs. There's none of that anymore. Or again, very, very little. Trying harder to not speak in such absolutes. It's tough. Because this guy made me wait for 5 minutes while he just trying to scan the stupid barcode. And it wouldn't happen. And it got to the point where I'm like, do you just want me to pick another one? I'll pick another one. Jesus. I just want to get the hell out of here at this point. I will pick another one, and we'll see if that scans. I don't even care. I just want to get out of here. He said, oh, okay. And then as I was walking to select another one, I got it. Jesus. And again, I'm at fault too. Because I price shop from time to time. Everybody does it. Oh, what's the lowest price on this one? I can get it on Amazon. Do you price match Amazon? No, they don't price match Amazon. Nobody should price match Amazon. You know why? Because Amazon doesn't have stores. Ugh. You idiots. I'm an idiot too because that's something I should probably, you know what? I'm going to practice what I preach. And feel free to join me on this one. No more Amazon price matching at stores. No more. No more price matching at brick and mortar stores. None. Don't do it. If they offer, we'll price match Amazon. No, man. I don't care. Because why do you think Best Buy is about to fold? Why do you think they're about to fold? Because they can't compete with Amazon. Because they have brick and mortar stores. Amazon doesn't. They have to pay rent. Or if they own the building outright, which they probably don't, they have to pay property taxes. They have to pay employees, insurance, front end guys, not to mention warehouse guys. They got to hire designers, and they have to work on presenting all their merchandise. What does Amazon have to do to present merchandise for you? They take pictures of it, usually provided by the maker of the product. They hire the professional guys to go and click, 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 click. Here you go. Here are the couple images. Bam, put them on your website. But Best Buy, they got to hire this and that, and they got to have branding. They got to do all this. Huge amounts of overhead. And on top of that, a-holes will walk in there and go, I can get this cheaper on Amazon. Well, of course you can. Duh. But if you want it right now and you want to be able to hold it and touch it and see it before you buy it, you're going to have to pay a little bit of a premium for that privilege. Otherwise, go and buy it on Amazon, you jerk. But then don't complain when this isn't what I thought it was. Duh. Because you couldn't see it, you couldn't hold it, and you couldn't call somebody over to ask questions about it. And because of the wars that Best Buy and like outlets, brick and mortar stores have gotten into with Amazon and other online retailers, they're hiring bottom of the barrel. They're hiring teenagers who don't care about what you're trying to buy. Hey, can you talk to me about this? I don't know. Can I do you want the extended warranty? Yeah, but I want to know, what does this do relative to that? And, what's better? I don't really know, man. You could look on let me get my phone and I'll look on the internet, man. Hiring Tommy Chong all of a sudden. Hey, man. So I'll do that. If you'll do it with me, let me know on Twitter. No more price matching. It may be offered in your retail store of choice. You may be able to go to Best Buy or Staples or Office Depot or any of those places, and they will offer price matching. Don't do it. Because what you're paying a little bit extra for, is that premium. That's why you pay. That's why you pay sales tax. It's another big reason. Well, I don't have to pay sales tax on Amazon. Yeah, duh. Why? Because there isn't a physical place that you can go to look at things. So no more price matching for me. If I want something now, because I'm that kind of guy, impulse. Oh man, I really want this. Yeah, if I buy Amazon, if I buy it early enough, I can have it tomorrow, but I got to pay an extra $5, maybe even a little bit more. 2 days. I really want it now. What if I could go to a place where they have it, and not only do they have it in stock, and I could buy it and have it today, I can hold it and touch it and ask questions about it before I buy it. Oh man, that'd be really great. But I don't want to pay more than Amazon. That's what. No more price matching. Because unless you want to hope that one day Amazon opens a retail shop or a place where you can just hold and touch things and then place an order on Amazon to be delivered a couple days later, unless you want to trust that they're going to start beta testing that, brick and mortar stores are folding. And while it's easy to blame corporate America or ultra competitive capitalism on that, and it is, because there's an element to that too, the notion of, well, take a little bit less. Walmart, our margins are paper thin, right? Yeah. Margin what? 3 or 4% max, right? Yeah. All right. So what's 2.75%? Volumed out at the volume you do, what's 2.75% relative to 3%? Still in the billions, isn't it? Shut up. Take a little bit less. There is that notion, but the opposite, the antithesis of take a little bit less is pay a little bit more. And that's what we need to start doing. If we want to expect corporate America and the business side of America, if we want to expect them to start taking a little bit less, we should explore paying a little bit more. So I'll jump in on the no more price matching thing. Let me know who's with me. No more price matching. And if you really don't need it today and you want to pay bottom dollar, fine, go to Amazon. But if you want it today, you want to be able to hold it and ask questions, go to Best Buy, go to H.H. Gregg, go to Fry's or Toys R Us or wherever, and then pay them their nut. Pay them more because they're providing something for you that Amazon doesn't. I like that. I just started a movement. Hashtag no more price. Hashtag no price match. There we go. That's the hashtag movement. Like 5 people tweet, maybe. Hashtag no price match. Anyway, let's do some news. All right, we got a good bit of stuff to talk about in the news today. It's sad that we have to talk about this again. It's sad that this has come up again. It's awful. We'll talk about the school shooting that took place in Marysville, Washington, just north of Seattle. This actually happened on Friday of last week, but I had already recorded the Lefty show for that day. It's the News with Lefty. School shooting in Marysville, Washington, again, north of Seattle. This was like just as I was posting the Lefty show, the news started to break that there was an active shooter on the high school campus. A 14-year-old freshman, not going to talk about his name, or not going to talk about it. His name, but his name was, there was a Berg at the end of his name, but the guy was, damn it. Okay, here's the deal, okay? Here's my conundrum. Here's the source of my consternation. I want to make fun of the guy's name, but I don't want to say the guy's name because that starts getting into why many psychologists and psychiatrists in the wake of mass shootings or mass murder events always say, there's always at least a few people that say, don't talk about the perpetrator. Don't do it. Don't mention him by name. Don't show his or her picture. Don't do any of that. Because then you're going to give the other psychos out there, oh man, my message is going to reach the world. And then they go, you inspire, or you do your part to inspire copycats when you start plastering the name and image and manifestos, if there is one, of all these psychos that go around killing people because whatever stupid reason, or they're psychotic and didn't get the help that they needed. They were in help, but it was a social worker, it was a feel good, it was, rubber stamp, get them on the meds and make sure they're all right. No, what they needed, what I'm remembering is the affluent kid who was shooting in his BMW. I even forget his name, which is probably best. Running around UC Santa Barbara, I believe it was, or one of the California universities, on a shooting spree. He was in treatment, but what the gist I got from it was he had very real problems, but he was in a rubber stamp psychiatry program. Get him in, get him on the meds, and then wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, they're all good. Or at least, they'll be tolerable. No actual therapy. What that guy needed was to every single day we have to have sessions to talk about why you're a crazy person. That's what we need. And if you get a job, you need time off from it. If you're in school, you need time off from school. And you shouldn't be penalized for this because you need to work on your mental health. Not just, this guy's got borderline personality disorder, or this guy's bipolar. What's the new med that the big farm rep just gave me a bunch of stuff and took me on a golfing trip? What's it? Okay, here it is. And write the script. Bam, there you go. No. Therapy every single day. That's what the guy needed. Because some people say, well, they were getting therapy and they still shot people. Right. They were on meds. Good. Great. Where's the actual work on their mental health? But anyway, I digress. 14-year-old kid with a Berg at the end of his name, but he was an American Indian. And what? Huh? Berg at the end of his name, but Native American and supposedly deeply religious. And because the family is now saying, we're all praying, we're praying. And I don't want to I'm not making fun of it. To whom are you praying? And again, not to make fun, but just, there's given your surname, but your Native American heritage, there's 3 different gods in play here. And I don't know which one. I want to know which one. Anyway, this little bag of crap has been having girl troubles and making troubling is the word you'll hear a lot, posts to his Twitter or Facebook profile, I forget which, in the weeks leading up to the shooting, then showed up on at his high school's campus last Friday with a .40 caliber handgun and it's just walked up in the cafeteria and started blasting people. Killed the girl who was apparently the object of his ire, and then shot 2 of his cousins and 2 more people before a teacher intervened. And it's unclear whether in the struggle the teacher deflected the gun or the gun went off and the bullet ricocheted and killed the perp, or somebody intervened and he just accelerated the plan to bring it to an end and turn the gun on himself. But the gunman died. And 2 dead the day of the shooting, 4 people immediately airlifted to local hospitals or regional hospitals, and one of them has since died, a 14-year-old girl. 2 more, I believe, in critical condition, 1 in serious condition. And it's awful. And I haven't seen it yet. Talking about gun restrictions, gun legislation. But I know it's coming. But the thing I want to know first is I have to believe that it takes a special kind of crazy. You have to be a special kind of person with a special kind of mental state to walk up and start taking human life. We all think about it. We all have those intrusive thoughts, I believe they're called. What if I killed myself? What if I just killed these people right now? They're just intrusive thoughts. And I don't know. I'm advanced high school psychology talking here. Would that be the id? That would be the id talking if we're still listening to Freud. Do we still listen to Freud? What's his status? Are people like, whatever, weirdo, might have had syphilis. But we all have those intrusive thoughts, but to go about doing it, to plan it, to amass what you need to do it as per your plans, and then to execute your plans, you have to have a special kind of mental state, I believe. Because I think we all have those hero fantasies where what would it be like if we were to defend ourselves from an attacker? And usually the attacker in some weird way happens to be somebody that we know that we just really don't like or has tried to hurt us. And we're like, yeah, we're going to get them. And it's like, why would they ever be in that position? Shut up, brain. Let me have this revenge fantasy. But we all have that. What if a mugger, or what if somebody's trying to rape my wife or to take my children? Would I stand up? And would I be able to do it? And we all, I think, In our dreams, we know you're fighting quicksand, but in those thoughts you have in the shower, of course you emerge victorious. Yeah, I'd totally kill that bastard. Wouldn't get my children. But do you honestly think you could do it? Or at least, what would you be like afterwards? I'd be messed up. I could probably do the act in the moment, in the heat of the moment. But afterwards, I'd be a wreck. I don't know if I can handle it. The taking of life. And this was purely in a defensive stance, too. Even if it was, it's him or me. It'd still just wreck me inside. I'd be, ugh. And then I think, what must it be like to actively think, yes, I'm going to go do this? And then to watch it happen and to know that you're doing it at the time. You have to be some kind of crazy, right? So before we start talking about the mechanism by which this kid killed people, I want to know why he was wanting to and able to mentally in the first place. That's what I want to know. I want to know answers to those questions first. Not about how he got his hands on a gun, not where the gun came from, not how many bullets were in the magazine of the gun or what caliber the gun was. None of those questions are relevant until you establish how, from a mental standpoint, this kid was able to make things work out in his head and say, yes, I'm going to do this, because this took planning. This was malice aforethought. This wasn't some kid who just brought a gun to school and he dropped his backpack and the gun went off and blew some unlucky bastard's brains out. This was a kid who was like, I want to hurt people. I'm going to go do this. And then in the moment, in that walk up, imagine what are you thinking as you walk up in the cafeteria? Put yourself, many of us have been in high school or are in high school now. I think they all have cafeterias still, unless they've outsourced that too. Bring your own lunch, bastards. Cutting costs. Imagine what it would be like walking across your high school cafeteria with a gun in your hand and intent to use it to hurt people. What's that walk like? What are you thinking in your head? Not in the moment when you're discharging rounds, but as you walk up. That has got to be the loneliest walk of your life. And it's just, it's mind-boggling and stomach-churning. And what's even more stomach-churning is the fact that people will view that as secondary to vilifying, right or wrong, how and why the kid was able to get his hands on a gun of that caliber with so many rounds, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. People will completely gloss over the, hey, he at 14 years old was committing premeditated murder. Shouldn't we look at that? Maybe. And of course, the downside to that is that we're all going to have to hear about warning signs. And this is going to bring about, there's going to be at least a few arrests now in the coming months. There's going to be a few more arrests of kids who post non-specific threats, non-specific words that people rationalize as threats and then call the cops on them. That's going to happen. And the downside to, let's look at his mental health up to this point, the downside is going to be people will abuse that to say, well, now we just got to arrest people who post Slipknot lyrics to their Facebook profiles because I don't know what it means. Okay, well then investigate. This guy said, it's broken me. And if you look at the posts of this kid before the incident, none of them were specific. None of them even implied violence. There's no lyrics that implied violence. Never mind that in lyrics that even, quote, imply violence, they're not threats because there's no mention of intent or specific target. It's just, there's no reasonable aspect to it all. This kid was just It's broken me. It's this, it's that. I'm broken, that and the other thing. It's going to happen. I'm broken. This and that is going to happen. Holy crap, man. And the people will look at that and go, yep, now we got to arrest some now we got to go get them. Now we got to go get these kids that are saying weird things on Facebook. I guess it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because there'll people that'll say, well, now we have to, guns are universally bad. See, look at this kid that used a gun to kill people. You say, well, why does this kid abusing his supposed right to own a firearm or abusing somebody else's right to a firearm? Because I don't think he owned the gun. Why is this kid abusing somebody else's rights a reason to restrict the right as a whole? Why? That doesn't make any sense. Think about that. People are going to make that argument, or essentially make that argument. But imagine this. Drug dealers, despite transporting illicit materials, abuse their right to warrants needing to be needed, or searches needing warrants. They abuse their right to probable cause searches and warrant searches. They abuse their right to be free from warrantless searches. There we go. Third time's a charm, baby. They abuse their right to be free from warrantless searches. So we need to restrict the right to be free from warrantless searches. Would you accept that? No, you go, yeah, so what? Be better police officers or investigators. So what? The guy got away with it. That's your problem, not mine, and not everybody else's. And that's what people are going to do on the gun side. But if you finally get them to focus on, well, no, let's talk about how the guy was a crazy person who at 14 wanted to commit premeditated murder, then people are going to say, well, look at these troubling posts. Why weren't the police called when he made these troubling posts? And it's, damn it. Damn it. Where do you go? Where do you go? It's awful. 14-year-old girl, dead. On the day of the shooting, then a 14-year-old girl shot in the head, died on Sunday night. Yeah, it's awful. And now a Seattle student arrested for bringing an explosive device to school. This is from Yahoo. A Seattle high school that shares a building with a children's museum in a popular tourist area was evacuated, and a 16-year-old student arrested on Monday after he was discovered on campus with an explosive device, Seattle police said. Police responded to the Center School, a small public school in the same building as the Seattle Children's Museum, after receiving a tip that a student had a Molotov cocktail, police said in a statement. The school was evacuated as a precaution, the statement said. It was not immediately clear why the student had brought the firebomb to school or what police did with the explosive. It was also not yet clear what charges the student might face. The incident comes at 3 days after a 15-year-old high school student in Marysville, he's 15, I thought he was 14, Washington, north of Seattle, opened fire on classmates inside of the school cafeteria, killing 2 girls and wounding 3 other students. The Center School has a focus on the arts and community engagement, and its 300 students are drawn from across Seattle. Oh, so it's one of those special flower schools. Oh, would you imagine that? One of those special flower schools has one of those copycat, I'm special, so everybody's talking about this Marysville shooter, so now I'm going to bring a Molotov cocktail. But in the interest of independent thought, I have a question. What constitutes a Molotov cocktail? Seems like a stupid question, but keep in mind, grain alcohol, you put Everclear, you get Everclear in a rag, you got yourself a Molotov cocktail, my friend. I mean, so I've read from other sources. You can go find them for yourself. Don't do that. Bad. It's not good, it's bad. So what, the kid had a towel and he brought Everclear? Maybe he was bringing Everclear. He just wanted to get drunk, and he had like a towel or a rag in his backpack. Somebody saw him and go, oh my God, Molotov cocktail, grain alcohol and a rag. He's like, what? You had a lighter too? Yeah, I smoked cigarettes. I wanted to get drunk in class and then go outside and rip a butt and then wipe my mouth. I want to know what constitutes, like, if he had it prepared, if he had if he had it all ready to go, however you prepare a Molotov cocktail to get it ready to go, that's one thing. But you say Molotov, the report said Molotov cocktail, and people just accept that at face value. But I want to know, what do they mean? Do they mean he had the materials for a Molotov cocktail, or he had it ready to go for some reason? Why? I don't know. Probably has something to do with this other kid being plastered all over the news for his murderous exploits. And final news story as we wrap up the show. This is troubling news from the Washington Post. The nurse quarantined in New Jersey after returning from Ebola mission is released. After a weekend of exchanging sharp barbs with New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, a nurse who was detained and placed in isolation in the state after returning from West Africa was released. Since testing negative for Ebola Saturday morning, the patient being monitored in isolation has thankfully been symptom-free for the last 24 hours, the New Jersey Department of Public Health said in a statement. After being evaluated by CDC and her clinicians, the patient is being discharged. Casey Hickox was the first healthcare worker to be quarantined under a new policy in New York and New Jersey shortly after it was announced that another healthcare worker who recently returned from the region tested positive for Ebola in New York City. During her isolation, Hickox criticized her treatment by New Jersey officials as inhumane and lashed out at Christie. On Monday, at a campaign event in Florida for Governor Rick Scott, Christie said he, quote, didn't reverse my decision in releasing the nurse, adding she hadn't had any symptoms for 24 hours and she tested negative for Ebola, so there was no reason to keep her. The reason she was put into the hospital in the first place was because she was running a high fever and was symptomatic. And this comes on the heels of another report that the White House, under orders from President Obama, is urging governors of states to ease their quarantine protocol on people emanating from West Africa. Obama is saying, hey, well, just tell them that they can do it at home, okay? Just make it voluntary quarantine, please, please, please. Because New Jersey and New York have enacted active quarantine. Where are you coming from? Yeah, I was a nurse working with Ebola in West Africa. When was the last time you were there? A week ago. Bam, into quarantine you go for whatever the incubation period could be from Ebola. You go into quarantine. Finally, New York and New Jersey, some states with some balls. Oh, well, I'm the happy guy. I went to West Africa on my own to work with people that have Ebola, and then I come back and I got my panties in a bunch because I'm being quarantined. Well, what the hell do you think? Why? And I got a big problem with the President of the United States of America telling states, hey, here's how you handle quarantine in your state. Kiss off, you bastard, Obama. Leave me alone. This is my sovereign. You, Obama, are not the leader of a sovereign. I am. The federal government is not a sovereign authority. We need to really reestablish that. Obama or any other president, because if you repeat Obama enough, it becomes partisan, and I don't mean to make this partisan. The president of the United States is not the leader of a sovereign authority. He is the representative of a collection of sovereign authorities, and he supposedly speaks on their behalf. But he is not the embodiment of sovereignty. That, if anybody is the in the form of government we have in America, if anybody is the embodiment of sovereignty, that would be the governor of the many states. Every single governor represents a sovereign authority. Now you say the United States of America is not sovereign. So I'm a governor and I want to protect my state and the people in my state, in my sovereign. I'm effectively the king of New Jersey, and I say, you want to fly into, is Newark? I believe it's Newark in New Jersey. You want to fly into Newark from West Africa? Fine. But I'm going to ask you, when you're entering my sovereign, were you treating Ebola patients? Yes. Bam, get into quarantine. Because it's my sovereign, and I'm protecting the people of my sovereign from this very, very super deadly virus. And people, how dare you quarantine me? Because you were just in West Africa a couple hours ago in close, intimate contact with people with this super deadly virus. That's why. But now, no, you can't do that. Please just and listen, how many people, there have been, to my knowledge, 3 separate instances of people asked to be placed. No, 4. 4 instances of people being placed under voluntary quarantine. All the members of Thomas Eric Duncan's family, or the people with whom he was living, they were asked to be put themselves in voluntary quarantine. Don't leave your apartment. And what happened? They tried to sneak out. NBC, leader of an NBC crew, dispatched to Western Africa, came back, was asked to put herself in voluntary quarantine. She was out getting takeout. Like, voluntary quarantine does not work. For reasons I've highlighted in other shows, we're very self-important douchebags. So no, this woman, I'm going to place myself in voluntary quarantine. Yeah, and then you're going to go out to buy tampons or get beer or whatever, go bowling, go for a jog, which is not quarantined. Oh, but I know I'm safe. Yeah, Thomas Eric Duncan thought the same thing. And now, and the other thing that we need to stop with is, I heard this the other day. People can have Ebola but not be symptomatic. They are asymptomatic. And people are told through news outlets, and nobody questions it, that if you are not symptomatic, you cannot transmit Ebola. And that is false. That is patently false. You still can. It's, quote, harder, because transmission only happens, it's not aerosol, transmission happens through direct transmission or direct exchange of bodily fluids. That still happens between people who are not sick. Not all the time. It's easier to happen when somebody's sneezing and coughing and hacking and bleeding all over you when they are symptomatic. But people exchange bodily fluids when they are asymptomatic, sure. And you can still transmit Ebola that way. Stop telling people that you can't transmit it if you are asymptomatic. That's not true. And the other thing I heard that we really need to stop with is the CDC saying it's really hard to get Ebola. Really? Really? Ask people in West Africa how hard it is to get Ebola. It's really hard to get Ebola. Oh, really? Then what's West Africa all about? Why are we so freaked out then about Western Africa? If it's really hard to get Ebola, why are we freaked out about West Africa? Let's bring it home. Woo, another great episode of The Lefty Show. I thank you all for joining me. I had a great time putting on the show for you. I hope you had a great time listening. Thank you to everybody for watching, liking, favoriting, subscribing on YouTube. YouTube.com/LeftyOX is where you can go to find the show in its YouTube formation. Thank you to everybody for following me on Twitter. @Lefty643 is where you can do that. Stay up to date on all the latest and greatest Lefty Show news. Thank you to everybody that's been donating to the show. I'mRaising.com/643 Productions is where you can donate to the show if you want to help out. That's I'mRaising.com/643 Productions. Thank you to everybody for doing that. And thank you to everybody that has been sharing the show with friends, family, and coworkers, helping the show grow, doing your part. I thank you all very much. Easy to do now. Find us wherever you get your podcasts for your tablet, PC, or mobile device, Android, iOS, it doesn't matter. Search The Lefty Show. Be sure to subscribe and download all the episodes at your leisure. Anyway, guys, that's my time. I got to get out of here. Thank you for joining. I'll catch you next time. I'm out. Bye.